A Stradivarius violin that belonged to the late Roman Totenberg, a violinist and music professor, has been recovered after it was stolen from him more than 3 decades ago. And listen to this violin was made in 1734, in the 1700s, by the famed Italian Antonio Stradivari, whose instruments are very well known. They're prized for their quality, the quality of the sound, the rarity, and they're very invaluable. These violins, when it was stolen back in the 80s, it was worth $250,000. Right now, it's selling for $2 million, and the family actually recovered. This is a great story, and it all starts 30 years ago. Mr. Totenberg made this concert in Massachusetts. He had a great success. He was greeting some people, and he left the violin in the green room, if you will. And he always knew who stole it, because there was this young violinist called Philip Johnson, very unknown violinist at the time, that was kind of loitering and hanging out around the office at the time. And then
they knew who did it.
They knew who did it. And then actually the ex-girlfriend of this guy Johnson came to them and say a couple of weeks after the fact and said, you know what, I'm sure that Johnson has this violin. They went to the cops. The cops said, you know what, we don't have enough to warrant a search of his house. So family, the family for 30 years, they knew that this violin existed. They knew where they were. Actually, they had a joke where the wife will always ask people if they knew any gangsters that could actually break into an apartment and find the violin as a joke. But after 35 years, what happened is really interesting. Unfortunately, Mr. Totenberg died last year, 101 years old, after 90 years of musical career. He traveled the whole world, and he used that violin for almost 38 years before losing it. So when he lost it, it was a big blow to his career. He never really recovered from it, although he kept playing for many, many years. But not too long ago, the ex-wife of Johnson remarried another guy. They were cleaning house and they found this violin. And they said, oh, we just made cash. Let's bring this to an appraisal house and see if it's a real Stradivarius.
Do we know where it was? Was it like under the sofa or something?
No, I don't know the details of exactly where they found it, but I'm surprised that it was kind of hidden there.
That's true.
Being something that is $2 million worth. But they took it to the appraisal house and the guy saw it and they were like, oh, you know what, I need a little bit more of research on this because this seems pretty authentic. So they took it to different appraisal houses, they confirmed, they came back, and they say, well, we have two news. We have good news and bad news. The good news is this is legit. The bad news is that it's stolen and I have to call the FBI. 2 hours later, the FBI was there and the documents this was given back to the Totenberg family that is really, really happy they saw it because for them, it was something that for 30 years his father will always say, like, it's like they chop an arm of me because this is my musical companion for decades.
I can only imagine how violating that would feel. It's such a shame that Totenberg didn't get his violin back before he died. I had my wallet stolen 2 years ago, and it was really violating. I can only imagine how that must have felt for him.
These are museum pieces. These are something, imagine that it was built in 1743. This is really, really old. The quality of it is incomparable. But, like you said, it's very sad that he didn't get to reunite with his instrument one last time. But it's good that the family actually got it. And what they're saying is that they're not going to keep it for themselves. They're going to find the right person to give it up.
That's
give
good.
It on for someone to play it because these are meant to be played.
Well, they probably couldn't legally keep it. I see the family.
The family, not the family of Johnson. Actually, Totenberg family said, we are the guardians of this piece now, and we make sure that it's going to go to the right violinist so he can play it and share with the world the sound of this violin, which is I find really, really cool.
The kicker for me here, Jose, the disturbing part that the police, my mom told me to stop calling them cops on the air because it was disrespectful. Anyway, the police involved in this case, they were specifically, not following up with, the man had a sense of who did this to him, and the girlfriend confirmed it of the suspect, and they didn't really pursue it. That's a big deal.
Imagine this, imagine that the girlfriend comes out and, he goes and say like, oh, this guy has a violin, and they go in and there's nothing. So, just the claim, it was 35 years ago, but the happy part of it is that now the family has reunited with a memento of the whole family history, and now someone is going to be playing this amazing instrument out there, so we'll keep you informed if we know who is going to end up getting this violin. And we want to know how you feel about this situation. You happy that someone found this long-lost piece of their history? Let us know how you feel, and please subscribe to the Lip TV 2.